Hi, I am Hummy at Hummy's World, and in this video we are going to be looking at saving shapes in Photoshop Elements and in Photoshop. And we're in Photoshop Elements right now, and I have this bowl shape that I have created. And unfortunately, Photoshop Elements cannot create .csh files. Those are the files that you import into your shape tool. If you create shapes in Photoshop Elements and you want to save them, you can go ahead and merely save them just as I did here, a .psd file with the layers. In fact, if you are going to be sharing them with other people so they can design with it, you may want to keep them in the layered PSD files if they have more than one part, because I could create a shape in the full version of Photoshop with this file, and I could name this bowl top, and I could name this one bowl bottom, but if I were a designer, I would love to be able to pull it up and have them already in place. In that case, of course I've got a lot of other shapes I've created here. I would eliminate all of those and have it just in one file. But I'm going to go ahead and remove the layer styles to this, because you wouldn't want to have your layer styles going. And then I would crop this down. You'd want to get fairly close, and then do a save as. Now your other option is to save these as ping files, but ping files are going to be rasterized, and when you resize them, they are not going to resize with the best quality. That is why it is best to share them as the shape layers, as you see here. But if you want to save them as a ping, you would just simply eliminate that shape layer, crop it down a little bit more, and do a file, save as, and then a .ping. And then I would hit Control Z and go back and get the other one. And so the problem with this, though, in Photoshop Elements is I'm going to go to this file, and I have here the bottom of a bottle. Here's the rest of the bottle. That there's stripes or something going on here. Stripes at the top. So I have here a bottle that I made for like mustard. But this shape here, when I click on it, you can see in order to make this shape, I had to do some subtracting. So I made an oval, and then I subtracted with a square shape here and a square shape there. So I could technically save this as part of the layered PSD, but that looks a little bit unprofessional like that. Some people might appreciate it because they could reshape their bowl, having the shapes already, the negative shapes already in there. But I wouldn't give away all my trade secrets to people. I would save it as a combined shape, and you can't do that in Photoshop Elements. But we're going to look at the full version of Photoshop and show you what you can do in that version. So I'm going to go ahead and close out all of this. And underneath it, I already have it pulled up in the full version of Photoshop. Now, to save shapes in the full version of Photoshop, I can leave my styles on while doing this. I'm going to click on the mask here and go to the Edit, Define Custom Shape, and I have a bowl top. And then I'm going to click on the bowl bottom, Edit, Define Custom Shape, and do bowl bottom and just name it. Now if you are just, I believe, on the layer itself, you're not going to see Define Custom Shape. If the layer itself is just active, you need to actually click on this vector mask, and then you'll be able to see Define Custom Shape. Now let's say I have a whole bunch of these collected together. I'm not going to do that for the sake of the movie, but to save it as a .csh file, I'm going to go to Edit, Preset Manager, and I prefer to look at these with large thumbnails. Click on the drop down, and to get to the large thumbnails, you click on this fly-out arrow. Choose large thumbnails for my bad eyes. Click on this drop-down menu and choose Custom Shapes, and down at the bottom are going to be your new shapes that you created. When I hover over this, I can see bowl top, and when I hover over this, I can see bowl bottom. So what I'm going to do is click on this, and then I see a black border around it to show it's selected. If I click on this one, I see the border now is on this one, but not that one. What I want to do is select all of them that I want to put in my .csh file. So I'm going to hit the Control key and click on this one. Now you're going to see there's a black box around both of them. So I would continue selecting all of the shapes. Hopefully for a shape file I have more than 2. And then I'm going to click Save Set, navigate to where I want to put my .csh file. In this case, I'm just doing my desktop, and then I'm going to name it. In this case, Hummy Kitchen Shapes. And then I have a mixer and mugs and things I would probably include in that. Now I'm done, and it has appeared on my desktop here. Now let's make sure it works properly, and I'm going to go into my custom shapes, and I'm going to click to load the shape, find it, click OK, and you can see it appeared again. So it's it did load correctly, and it did save correctly. I don't want these here, so I'm going to delete them. Now, here is this shape that we talked about. And you're going to see, I'm going to click the Path Selection tool and click on it, and you're going to see there the same thing that we saw before, where it does have the negative parts that I put to take out to create this shape. And in the full version of Photoshop, what you would want to do before saving these is to combine them. Now you're going to notice if I am just on, this is the same as before, if I just have this layer as the active layer, this combine button up here is grayed out. So I have to actually click on the layer mask, and then this combine button comes up, and I can click combine. Now people can't see how I actually made this shape. I think one of the reasons you might not want them to see that is because sometimes, yes, I use the oval and the square to create this shape this time, but at times I use other shapes that are like, I might use a flower and use part of that flower to make my shape, and I don't want them to see all of that other stuff, all those other shapes that are actually other shapes. It's best to combine them. And now I can save this as the dot, as the actual custom shape, or once I get these all combined, I can then save this. I take off my layer styles and save this as a layered PSD. What I probably would do is to offer both the layered PSD and a shape file. And I'm going to have the layered PSD have all the same shapes in it as the shape file. That way people can use one or the other, whichever way they prefer. And actually this comes with a label there, and so they can label it whatever kind of crazy mustard they want. And that is saving shapes in Photoshop Elements, which doesn't quite save them as well as you would want, or in the full version of Photoshop.